Hello, welcome to PC Mag Live. I'm Dan Costa. He is Sasha Segan. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about top tech news. We're going to pull one cool thing off the shelf. We're going to answer some of your reader questions. Before we do that, we want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Intel. And Intel invites you to check out its new pop-up Intel Experience Store in New York City. This unique, ever-changing environment provides an opportunity to get your hands on some of the latest Intel-based tablets and two-in-one devices. You can even test drive some of them by taking them home for 24 hours. You do have to bring them back, allowing you to truly try before you buy. Catch the Intel Experience Store at 262 Mott Street in Nolita, open now through January 25th. For more information, go to intel.com/stores. On to the big news of the day. There is a major letter that's been posted on reformgovernmentsurveillance.com. 8 of the largest tech companies have registered their discomfort and unhappiness at the rampant surveillance state that we've been living in, and the NSA spying. And those companies are AOL, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft, Twitter, Yahoo, and Apple. We're sort of waiting for something like this to happen. All these companies got sort of their whole business model stepped on by the NSA. Now they're saying there need to be laws.
Well, all these companies also have one big thing in common, which is that they're all global. These are all companies that have a global business. They aim to operate all around the world. They aim to operate in multiple countries. And they're realizing that if everybody thinks the NSA is watching everything they do, they're going to lose all of their business outside the United States. Because everybody in all these other countries are going to say, I don't want to be spied on. So now I think it's very interesting who's not on this list. Yeah. There's no Verizon, there's no AT&T, there's no Level 3, none of the telecom firms that are actually the low-level providers who the NSA is tapping into are asking for reform. Now, what do those companies have in common? They don't have a lot of international interests.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see the way it breaks down. Also in the news today, it turns out the NSA has got a special division that's looking into World of Warcraft players and actually monitoring the World of Warcraft and actually collecting information and intelligence on gamers specifically.
It's not just World of Warcraft, it's Second Life, it's other MMOs as well. World of Warcraft is just a big one, but it turns out that, you know, the NSA, it's kind of at this point, where isn't the NSA reaching its tentacles into?
Amazing. You know, William Gibson has written all of these stories 10 years ago. They're all the same stories, and even right down to the virtual life and virtual surveillance. So also in the news, the Xbox, 4chan is in the news again. They rarely make it into the news these days, but they're in the news again because they've been distributing a prank, basically a set of instructions to get Xbox One users. They're advertising it as a way to download this patch, you enter this command, and you'll be able to play Xbox 360 games. Unfortunately, there is no way to actually do that, and when people follow these directions, they're bricking their Xbox One. It's kind of unfortunate, but kind of what you would expect to come out of a 4chan board.
Well, yeah, and it kind of plays on a lot of the problems and frustrations about the Xbox One. That the Xbox One, there was this real push and pull between gamers and Microsoft over various things, like how it always had to be connected to the internet initially, and then Microsoft reversed that. And gamers want to be able to play their old games, and you can't do that. So it's just kind of playing on that psychological
and taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
So for the record, do not do this. This will not work. It will work for developers who have developer accounts, but for an ordinary customer, if you try and do this, you will brick your Xbox One, and I don't think Microsoft's going to get you another one.
So now I'm wondering at one point the NSA is just going to find the people responsible for this letter and like spirit them off to some black site.
You know, why would that not happen? I mean, use this power for good. Speaking of using power for good, this is the 3rd anniversary of Facebook Compassion Research Day. I did not know this was happening. The reports have just started to come out. It's an internal event at Facebook, all about monitoring interactions, and this year's event was centered around bullying.
Yeah, Compassion Research Day. So Facebook is, of course, all about the social graph and all about seeing how people interact with each other and then selling that data to advertisers. But in this case, it is about trying to find ways to use Facebook's tools to make people be nicer to each other, which I think is really laudable. Like, maybe they should have more than one Compassion Research Day a year.
Yeah, one of the quotes that jumped out at us was that, this is a Facebook representative saying this, that when we had a simple empty message box to tell your friend what they did negatively affected you, only 20% of the people sent a message. But if you give them the right language, an emotionally rich language, that number goes up to 60%.
And now the event had all of these suggestions coming out from Facebook staff and speakers of how to make Facebook more compassionate. One of which was, for instance, to have a sympathize button instead of a like button. And so Facebook takes this stack of suggestions and will hopefully implement some of them so that people are not jerks on Facebook.
It also just keeps people from actually writing full sentences. Like you can say how you feel to someone else, but Facebook is sort of making it easy. They just want it clickable emotion, like, and evidently maybe sympathize coming soon. All right, that is the news, top news of the day. Let's get to our reader question. This one is a very personal, very specific question about PCMag Live. Goran wants to know how to do a reverse chronological list of our shows and go back and look at our most recent shows. There are a couple of ways of doing this.
Yes. Now, Dan, it's funny because when I got this question, I thought I have the same problem. I have no idea how to do this. And Dan, did not even understand that this was a problem. He didn't understand that anyone could have this problem. And I said, I have this problem. I look on our YouTube page and I see this weird carousel of things that are not actually in order. And then Dan said, did you scroll down? And I said, no.
Yes, if you scroll down on our YouTube page, you'll see we have a playlist of nothing but of PCMag Lives. And the default setting is chronologically or reverse chronological. So you just click on it, you'll see all of our most recent shows. You can click through, play them all, comment on them. So that is the short way of doing it.
Scroll down.
You can scroll down and do it on our YouTube page. We've also created a URL that will take you directly to this piece. We're going to show that URL on screen now. Excellent. And so that's the longer way of doing it. Finally, let's get to one cool thing, and we'll get to more reader questions going forward. Make sure to leave us questions in the comment section, and we'll read them on air. One cool thing, which is a genuinely very cool thing, it's the Sony Alpha 7R. This review is going to post tomorrow on our site. And this is people look at it at first glance, they're like, oh, it's a great DSLR. It is not a DSLR. It's a mirrorless camera with 36 megapixels of resolution, a full frame camera. It's not cheap. It's $2,300. But it creates amazing, amazing pictures. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It's really, if you're a high-end photographer that's you want to shoot DSLRs, a DSLR camera is still going to be faster than this. But in terms of image quality, we've got our camera analyst, Jim Fisher, has taken a lot of beautiful shots, embedded them in the review. Really top-notch camera.
One thing that blew me away when he told me about it was it takes these 36 megapixel raw images at ISO 25,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that's practically night vision.
As a film, I got started in film photography. It just blows my mind what these things are capable of. And this is this is going to be our new editor's choice for mirrorless, full-frame mirrorless cameras. You can read Jim's full review on PCMag.com. It is well worth it. Before you buy a high-end camera, you have to check out this review because this is in a class by itself. That has been PCMag Live. I want to thank you for joining us. If you want to see past shows, just scroll down on the page.
Scroll down.
And you'll see all of our past shows. If you want to ask us questions, send us email, write us on Twitter, on Facebook. We will answer them live on camera. Thanks for joining us.